Greetings and salutations, everyone. It's time for another episode of Viewport Relay, a bi-weekly podcast where the Viewport team looks at the latest news in the gaming industry. As always, I'm your host, Albert Corson, joined by Tristan Jung.
Hello.
And Alex Nesser.
Hey.
It's episode 47. 47. You hear that? 7?
7?
What game came out? I don't know. FF7 Remake?
Yeah, a little lesser known AAA title, I think, came out.
A little video game. I don't know why they remade it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. It's came out 25 years ago. Why even bother? But yeah, they did it anyways.
Alright, I think I know where this is gonna go, and since I have had the pleasure of not playing that video game, I will host this segment called What Have You Been Playing?
Wow. You stole it.
I just stole it from you.
You just stole it.
Whoever wants to go first, because I know exactly what you guys are going to talk about.
No, Tristan, you go first.
You go. Yeah.
Yeah, you have something unique.
Wait, do I?
If you played a game, maybe you just didn't play anything.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I play a new game? I've been playing video games. I mean, it's the same stuff. I've been playing some Slay the Spire, made some progress on Half-Life Alyx. Got back into Triple Triad and Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
Oh, man, yeah.
Because the new FC that we founded, one of our new members is really into Triple Triad. And I was like, I remember that thing. So I started going back into, I have roughly 32% of all the cards. So I'm gonna try to grind them all out. But
yeah, I feel if I had a resource to talk to, I'd probably get into it in 14. But yeah, after the journey in 8, I don't think I can go into Triple Triad again.
Yeah, it's very demoralizing. Okay, but that's enough of whatever's been going on here. Albert, go first. What have you been playing?
I've been playing a little game called Final Fantasy 14.
All right, next, Alex.
Gotcha. I think this is where Alex and I together talk about our experiences with the 7th... Wait. There's one more game I played. Hold off Final Fantasy 7. Because I played with Tristan Jung a game called Soul Calibur 6. For an hour and a half. And we
really
had
late
no
at night,
idea.
Too.
Yeah, it was like 11 o'clock. I was taking a fat nap. And I woke up and I was like, I told Tristan I was going to play Soul Calibur 6. So we did the Steam, what is it called?
Play together,
broadcast, the big picture-y Epic Game Store.
Or whatever.
Share.
Yeah, Steam
okay,
share.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we did that where, one person owns the game and you both play on one person's machine. And it was confusing, but really fun.
Yeah, Soul Calibur is good for newcomers to get into because it's pretty easy to get combos going. In terms of just kind of looking cool.
Oh, yeah. I definitely know about that.
Button mash. Mash.
Yeah. A lot friendlier than Tekken, at least. So, yeah.
There was a lot of, how are you hitting me from Albert? And I literally just shrugged.
Yeah.
There was a move that he had where he took a wooden rod and he inserted it in between my legs and up into the groinal region.
All right, so Tristan was playing Killick. Who were you playing?
Some lady.
Forget. Some lady with does she punch? I forget. I think she punched. We played a bunch of matches as a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
To be honest, we spent 20 minutes fighting each other, and the rest of the time we were trying to understand how the game works. We went into training and we were trying all the combos and seeing what works and what doesn't. We didn't get too much out of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely another 3D fighter. It has a very unique fighting system, so you have to really get learnt in it before you can really start pulling things off.
The most difficult thing was that if you put it in a DualShock 4 controller, the button input directions only display Xbox buttons. So, it's very difficult to learn combos.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we're going to get into the meat. And I'm going to cap us out at, I don't know, 7 minutes.
Yeah, let's give us 7 minutes. That's more than enough time.
7 minutes to talk about, spoiler free, if you spoil, I will somehow have Tristan edit you out, even though he doesn't know what's a spoiler or not. But I will have him do it.
Disclaimer, I have never played this video game, even the original one.
Yep. Lips are sealed. I'll protect us.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I trust us. All right. We've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Alex beat it yesterday.
Yep.
I'm about probably, I want to say about 75 to 80% through probably. So,
yeah, that's probably closer to about 85%.
Okay, so I'm pretty close to being done with it. It's not a spoiler because it was in the original, but I'm about to get to Shinra HQ at the end. So there you go. Let's talk about Alex and Tristan. You're just gonna be sitting there this whole time, and
That's fine. I'm gonna do a lot of talking later. So it's okay.
I don't know how I'm gonna drag you into this. So, let's talk about the basics. Let's talk about the combat. What do you think about the combat, Alex?
So the combat, I've been thinking about this one quite a bit. It reminds me a lot of, I think, what they intended to probably make back in the 13 days. It has the old stagger system or similar type where you basically use whatever weaknesses the opponent has, and you can learn that in combat using certain skills or just by experimenting. And then basically getting their stagger up, and then you do big damage moves to defeat them by spending a ATB gauge. Overall, it feels really good. I think it's a very vast improvement over 15 system, where a lot of the time it was just hold down square, hold down circle so you dodge every single attack, and then just kind of teleport everywhere, warp around the field, and just win eventually. This one definitely requires a lot more thought, and the boss battles in general I found to be very difficult in terms of some of their mechanics. You gotta really learn what's going on, figure out what you're supposed to be even doing. I still need to go back and do quite a few of the bosses, because I feel like I just kind of brute forced them at a certain point.
You can do that in hard mode, because I assume if you play hard mode, then
in hard mode,
forcing it will not work.
You will absolutely not be able to, because in normal mode, this game is pretty, it's forgiving in terms that you can retry right before the battle, but the actual fights themselves are not very forgiving on normal. You will die very quickly if you mess up and don't really understand what's going on. I guess my only real qualm with it is the AI companions don't really do a whole lot unless you're controlling them, which, I mean, it's kind of understandable. They don't want the game to play itself.
I mean, I wish they would be a little smarter, right? Like, I hate it when there's a boss with AoE and Barrett's like running up point blank range to shoot him, and it's like, and he gets hit by the AoE and he takes a bunch of damage, and it's like, when I was controlling him, I put him all the way in the back so he wouldn't get hit by the AoE, but then it's like, AI comes over, walks right up to him, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah. But
I think that's, to encourage you to also like switch between the characters a little bit, but I wish it was a little smarter, because sometimes like I'm doing damage as one person, I switch over to Cloud, and he's standing in the opposite corner as a person who has a sword and has to melee. He's standing all the way away from the enemy, and he's just holding block, and it's like, what is the AI doing?
Yeah, I think something that could benefit for future installments is something like the Tales of system, where you can kind of tailor the AI to do certain things like hang back and use magic spells, or go in close and then start blocking if you're under like 25% HP.
Yeah.
Things like that. That would help it a lot. Another thing would be being able to assign shortcuts to your button combinations for other characters that you're not controlling at the time. So that way you'd be able to tell Cloud to like do Braver when you're controlling Tifa and doing her combos. I think that would help a lot too.
Yeah, and some might argue maybe they didn't do that so that you would have to play the other characters, right?
I think that was their intention.
Because they're like, hey, when you press when you press R2, you go into slow-mo and you can cast abilities as other people. So it's like, be active, cast those spells, get good at the game. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and I think you're right in that. And because one of the complaints of the original 15, I believe this is not the case anymore. You were only able to control Noctis, and really only sometimes issue commands to the other guys.
Yeah. I've just realized to wrap up our like AI discussion, there's like 2 modes of AI, and it's like the coding was written like this. If you're not controlling the character, it's is enemy staggered? False. Okay. Hold block. Is
Yep,
is enemy staggered? True. All right, start attacking like crazy. That's all the AI does.
Yeah, they do a lot of just kind of walking slowly around, RP walking everywhere.
Yeah,
that's their strategy. But no, overall, I think that's about all I have to say about the combat.
All right, we have 3 minutes left. We're gonna roll through it quickly. We're gonna talk about. We'll briefly touch on music real quick.
Oh yeah, I don't think there was a single track in the entire game I didn't like. Hamazu did a fantastic job taking both the original tracks of the 7 and remaking them, or just keeping them the same mostly, or adding even new tracks, which definitely show a lot of influences of what Hamazu's other works are, like the Final Fantasy 13 series. A lot of the tracks are very reminiscent of that, which isn't a bad thing, because that was probably the highest point of those games as the soundtracks.
One of the things, moving away from soundtrack, you summed it up nicely. It's a great soundtrack. Is the characters themselves and like the story and like their actions and like the minute details are all amazing. But one of the things that surprised me was how seamlessly it flows from like telling story to going into gameplay to doing a cutscene to doing this. It feels there's no like load times really in between any of them. It just, and the way the camera pans and the way it moves, like even just a little conversation you have, the camera work is like really great in terms of just like emphasizing like minuscule movements of the characters' faces to like, and like essentially, denote other emotions other than what they're just saying. It's really good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, it was all greatly transitioning in terms of what goes on in the action, and then it goes right into a cutscene, and it really, you can't even really tell it even just did it. It's great, whatever their engine is capable of. I'm hopeful that future gen will see it a little bit better, because obviously in certain places, it's trying to mask that it has to load the area that you're going into.
You mean the things where you're walking against like the little...
Yes.
Yeah.
That drove me crazy when you're randomly slowed down to a crawl for no reason, or you have to like shimmy through a tight space.
The shimmy is the big one.
Yep. So that could get fixed, hopefully, when we have more processing power, things like that. And I heard maybe the texture pop-in issues is going to be fixed in a patch, so we'll see about that as well.
Just in terms of the visuals, and this is the last thing we'll talk about before we move on, this is like the best looking PS4 game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I think this will probably be the highest point in terms of the actual in-game, in-engine gameplay and cutscenes, and then pre-rendered are just absolutely beautiful. I couldn't believe the pre-rendered cutscenes in this game.
Yeah.
The CGs or whatever you want to call them.
The CGs. You sound like an old man.
I know.
There's kids and their CGs.
I just need my FMVs right now.
All right. Do we hit 7 minutes? I think we hit around 7 minutes. Tristan, are you there?
Hello, I'm in this podcast. Right. I had a quick question, actually. Based on, since Alex has played the OG before, based on kind of what this game covers, how many parts do you think there will be in the remake collection?
Yeah, I was thinking about that afterward. I'm thinking, if they take what they did with Midgar section only in this part, and then apply that to the rest of parts, I could see it easily being 4 parts long. And if they intend up flushing out all these remainder parts, yeah, it would be phenomenally long.
For someone who played through the original like a week before this game came out, and only played through the first half, because that's all I really wanted to play at the time being, it was really, anyone, even if you haven't played the original, this game is amazingly good.
I'd say it's good for newcomers.
Like, and you won't have, like, some of, like, probably, I mean, the characters and the writing are really good, but obviously, like, if you've known these characters for, like, 25 years, obviously you won't have as deep of a connection as other people, but still, it gets you invested in the characters and the story pretty hard.
Yep, and yeah, it definitely exceeded my expectations in terms of just including that, like, old Final Fantasy charm, if I'll call it that. Just absolutely good. I couldn't speak more highly of it.
The game doesn't take itself too seriously.
Exactly, yeah. It's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of cheesy sections that were in the original game that
Oh,
are in complete glory in the
There's
remake.
a fever dream in this game.
They definitely put a lot of love in it shows in terms of the scenes and things they did, and yeah, if you were a fan of the old game, they did you justice, I think.
My closing words are they pulled it off. Like, this game had so much hype, and they pulled it off, and I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, I'm still astounded. I was thinking, oh man, this is gonna be another just tragedy. But once the demo came out, I was like, alright, I think they might actually be doing this. And then the game came out, and yeah, they definitely pulled it through to the end. So.
All I know is the funniest thing Alex said was he's like, the way that Tifa plays in this game is how Monk should play in Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that Yoshi P and all the other kind of combat producers are looking at Tifa's overall moveset design and are like, alright, so this is how we can kind of make a kit for Monk that works.
You pause right there, you're like looking at Tifa, just looking at Tifa, that's all they need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just look at Tifa.
Alrighty. Tristan, have you been playing anything else?
Me?
Yeah,
playing
you.
video games?
Right now? You playing anything right now?
I honestly, at this moment, not really.
Like
No.
right
Not during
now.
recording. I've only made that mistake once. I've actually been watching a lot of Valorant. Half because I've been wanting to get the key, but half because I'm interested, just seeing what happens. I think I talked about this last episode. I think my stance has changed a little bit. I was a little bit more skeptical about it last time.
Mm-hmm.
But after watching it a lot more, it looks pretty fun. Like, there seems to be a meta. But I think the biggest thing that really makes it for me is time to kill is really quick. Like, it's almost instantaneous if you get a headshot.
It's like Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it has some, like, weird feedback when you shoot someone that makes it more satisfying than when you hit someone in Counter-Strike. Like, I don't know what it is. It's not a hit marker. It's kind of like this blood splattering that shows up, and there's, like, a little sound effect that makes it a little bit more, exciting. So I'm trying my hardest to get a key right now. We'll see what happens.
Nice. Maybe next time you'll be able to tell us.
Oh.
How often do they release keys?
I don't know. I've just been watching Summit, but he has like 200,000 viewers on his channel.
Yeah, that's insane. Holy moly. Alright. It's news time. It's morphin' time. Go Viewport Rangers. Oh, we're gonna get sued, aren't we? Uh-oh.
Go Viewport Rangers.
Uh-oh. We're gonna get sued. Anyways, we're gonna do a little coronavirus update in the gaming world, not in real life.
Not us.
We're just gonna talk about some delays. We had Last of Us Part 2 and Marvel's Iron Man VR delayed due to coronavirus. And then a not delay, but who knows, because it's CD Projekt Red saying that Cyberpunk 2077 is still running on plan for September. But, that's so far away, I don't know how they could know that. That game was supposed to come out in 2 days, guys.
I mean, actually, on the day of our podcast release, it was supposed to come out.
The day of.
Day of.
Mm-hmm.
Day of.
Not here you are.
I could have jumped right from Tifa to Keanu Reeves, and it would have been the world's best transition in gaming ever.
Yeah, but here we are. Now you gotta listen to our podcast. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. They love us. Just kidding. They love Tristan. They hate the rest of us. Alright. We're going to talk about the most important part of the console wars ever conceived.
More than the T-flops?
More than the T-flops, more than the RAMs, more than Mark Cerny's talk about hard drives for 1 hour. We're going to talk about controllers. We're going to talk about DualSense 5.
No, just DualSense.
DualSense, sorry. I don't know why they didn't put a number on it. Maybe because it's the first.
Totally not a DualShock.
Not only that, why did they call it DualSense? Like, everyone's gonna call it DS still, right? You have to abbreviate it as DS.
DS 2020, in brackets.
Think about this. How many senses do you have?
5.
5.
What game console is this? The PS5?
Oh.
V? Alright. I think we're on to something.
I had a couple comments about this controller, actually.
Wait, I was gonna detail
ahead.
some of the features of this controller, which is the lowest that this podcast has ever gone before. We've got no more share button. I was happy when I read that, and then they said, nope, it's been replaced by a create button. So
nice. I'm a creator.
We have haptic feedback, so HD Rumble, I guess. If you want to, if you only speak Nintendo,
feel the ice
HD
cubes.
Rumble now. Feel the ice. Count them. 1. Adaptive triggers and L2 R2. I wasn't sure what this one meant. What's an adaptive trigger?
They're gonna resist your movement if you're doing something crazy on screen.
Oh, you gotta have strong fingers. You're gonna have to.
I don't know what adaptive means.
I understood it as a digital trigger, because most triggers are analog, right? Like the L1, L2 on the current DualShock 4, it's either pressed or not pressed.
Isn't that digital?
No, that's analog. Analog is either 0 or 1.
Off. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Whereas the actual triggers on DualShock 4, there's a range of input that you can provide. So my assumption was that they just put that in the bumper buttons as well.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I could see that. Next we've got USB-C. See you later, micro USB.
I'm so happy about that.
And then we've got a built-in new mic.
Alex, you want to go over your experiences with the microphone or the headset or whatever?
No, I found Albert. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Albert's experience with the using your controller as a microphone or a
I don't think I've ever done that.
Wait,
no, I used it as a speaker.
I used it as a speaker?
No, I think
it
Alex,
had sound going through it.
You were looking for a port on your TV.
Yeah, I was looking for
this was the biggest fail I've ever heard in my life. Oh my god, Alex.
I never looked at a DS4 before that closely.
You never looked at the holes.
No.
Alex found out this week after owning a PS4 for many, many years that you can plug in headphones into the DualShock 4 to reroute the audio from your TV to your headset.
I wanted to hear the music of FF7 better, but I was like, man, I wish I had better speakers for my TV.
Well, and then you're like, and there's no headphone jack on my TV. And I was like, hold up. I can't tell if he's joking or not.
Alright, for anybody listening, there's a headphone jack on your controller.
And guess what? Here's our last feature. It confirmed that the new DualSense will also have an AUX cable compatible port, not import. So you could still plug in that headset, Alex.
Nice. Even in the future, we can do it.
Nice.
Exactly.
Best feature we already had.
That's all I've got for the feature list. Tristan, did you have something you want to say?
I did have a couple comments. First, I love the wording that they use in this press release. It feels so... I don't know. Like they're upselling it so much. My favorite sentence is... We wanted everyone in the PlayStation community to get a first look at the DualSense TM wireless controller, and hear our vision for how the new controller will captivate more of your senses as you interact with the virtual worlds. I'm like, who wrote this?
There's some VR, alluding to VR, new PSVR there almost, it sounds like. But no, This is just a controller with haptic feedback.
All V senses, as Alex.
All V senses. Yep. Taste. Am I going to be able to taste? Do I got to stick something in my mouth in order to taste things?
Yeah, the middle button. You can lick
tongue
it
on the touchpad. Yeah.
Oh, you lick the touchpad.
Yeah, and it'll send electrical responses to your tongue, and it'll translate into different tastes.
I'm not going to lie, if that was a real thing, I would pay $1,000 for that. If I were to play Cooking Mama on PSV and be able to eat my food after, that would be the defining moment of video games.
How many crypto coins will you make from that?
0. It's not real, Alex.
Oh, okay.
I also like how they changed the button names of the start and select to 3 horizontal lines to 3, I don't know what the exploding lines?
I didn't see that picture.
No, I mean, just like they did not label their start and select buttons. It's just
lines
everywhere.
It's hamburger. We're the 21st century. Everything's got to be
Google
hamburger.
approved hamburger.
Yeah, we don't read words anymore.
And the third comment was Alex and I were talking about this. The handles, the little legs, look a little Xboxy.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot chonkier than the DualShock 4 if you compare them. There was like a little crevice between the control sticks and the legs before. Now it's like almost completely filled in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looks a bit chonkier. Maybe it'll feel a little better to people who complain that the DualShock always felt small in their hands. I think that's what they're going for.
Guys, I found out I have really small hands. When I was playing Soul Calibur, I had a hard time reaching my thumb to the left thumbstick and doing like quarter circle movements forward. I got small hands, guys.
Yeah, I got small hands too. The DualShock feels perfect to me.
Yeah, DualShock
feels switch. Nice. The switch is the left thumbstick is in the top left of the controller, so I can reach it really easy.
Mm-hmm. Just get bigger hands, forehead.
Yeah, I know. Let's get some glue some clay on the end of my fingers for when I'm ready to play.
Mm-hmm. Augmented hands.
Yeah, or just buy a fight stick like a real man.
Yeah, that too.
All right. So we got for controller speak. Where are we gonna roll? Where do I want to roll? Our segment on Final Fantasy went a little long.
Do you want to do one more? We can do one more.
We'll do a mix. Let's talk about Resident Evil real quick here. I'm gonna try to fit in two things. All right, we're gonna talk about Resident Evil real quick, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about E3. Capcom confirmed working on RE4, and that's about it. RE4 remake.
Yep.
RE4 remake.
They aren't just porting it again.
Yeah.
They're just doing a remake this time.
How do you guys feel about that? That's all I'm going to ask.
It's said that it's going to be the team that recently did the RE3 remake, which has received mixed reviews. Overall, for RE4, I feel that game kind of stands the test of time, in a sense. I don't know if they really needed to remake this game, other than to make it prettier, I guess. I don't think they'll go the full FF7 for this one.
Yeah, or even the RE2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even just comparing it to I don't know. I feel like it's too soon, but
I actually think it's fine. Like, you know, a lot of kids probably haven't played RE4 in its original form or its remakes. And I think RE4 is hitting that really weird middle ground in terms of the series. Like, they had the QuickTime events. Like, stuff started getting a little bit more insane in terms of, like, story.
A lot more action.
Every time I see a speed run of this game, it looks really clunky.
Yeah, and I think that's what I hope that they'll fix with the remake. Because with the RE2 and RE3 remake, they did a really good job of porting, like, the story and what made it special into a playable engine. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
And then some last minute notes is that it's going to be developed by M-2 Studio, which is a studio founded by former Platinum Games head Tatsuya Minami. So, and I heard that a lot of the people who work there are former Capcom and Platinum Games people. So, maybe it'll be great.
Yeah, hopefully it's pretty good. Yeah. So that game is kind of a classic at this point.
I feel like this is very hard to screw up. They got the engine already. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They got the story and the gameplay already. Just, like, put it over there and it should be fine.
They even have the Leon model. They just need to take it from 2.
Take it from 2.
Make him a little older.
Yeah.
Random thing, for Final Fantasy VII, I was looking at something and they were saying how, like, they might just take the Advent Children models that they made for the movie, and they were like, actually, that movie's not that old, but it's, like, gaming graphics have gone up so much that when we put them in the new engine, they were actually pretty bad looking. So they had to remodel everything. Alrighty. Okay, PSA for the last story. No official E3 online event. Raise your dongers
My pitchfork.
Your pitchforks. Not really. We don't really care. But IGN is doing a thing where they're going to be organizing a giant online digital event for E3. So keep your ears and eyes peeled. Wait, how can you keep your ears peeled?
Don't do that, please.
Don't peel your ears. I'm not liable if you peel your ears. Honestly,
I think with, a bunch of the publishers doing it themselves, I don't think E3 needs to step in. And I'm sure IGN has more experience doing digital events than them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the only thing about centralizing is just making sure people aren't doing online events at the same time, right? That's the only thing I can think, right? Like, what if 3 publishers, all like Ubisoft, Microsoft, and Square Enix, all put their press conference at the exact same time somehow? It's like, well, you can only watch one of the 3. That's about it.
And of course, removing some of the bias, because IGN's going to show all the Call of Duty stuff for about 3 hours.
Sponsored by Activision.
Get Kojima on there for about an hour and a half, and then I don't know.
He doesn't have anything to show, does he?
The next Stranding type game.
Yeah.
He can't make a movie because Hollywood's dead.
Paused.
Okay.
We need the second Strand.
For the last half of the podcast, Viewport, this very own Viewport, is celebrating 2 years of Viewport Relay and Viewport Games and Viewport Gaming. And Tristan, as he did last year, is going to lead us on I don't know how to word it. I'll let you take it from here, man.
He's chronicled it all.
A trip down memory lane, if one could say. First,
good or bad? Good or bad memories?
You'll see. First, as Albert was saying, want to thank everyone for another year of Viewport Relay, the flagship podcast of VieportGaming.com.
Can it be flagship if it's the only one? Or is it by default the flagship?
I don't know. That's just a definition thing, man. I don't make the rules here.
Okay. Okay.
Want to start off with, I thought after last year, I learned my lesson of not listening to all the episodes in a single day to make this segment. But obviously I did not learn. So I had to do it again. I listened to every single episode of year 2 on Saturday. And that broke my soul. But we're here.
You probably don't want to hear us talk anymore, right? Because you're like, I had to listen to these bozos for like 26 hours.
To be honest, I don't know if you noticed, but I just logged off of Discord Voice that day because I was listening to all the episodes on 2 times speed because I don't want to spend 26 hours. So I only spent about 13 hours.
Do you notice that our voices sound relatively lower in pitch than they do at 2 times speed?
No, luckily Pocket Cast doesn't up pitch your voices when I speed it up, so it was pretty nice. Anyways, I digress. I have 8 pages of scripts to read through, so let's get started. Welcome to the second edition of Annual Analysis, a segment where we talk about the things we talked about for the past year on Viewport's flagship podcast, Viewport Relay. To be honest, it's been a quiet year for the website, with most of us taking a break on writing content after a 1-year sprint in 2018. We published like 100 things in 2018. So, kudos to us back then. But it's definitely been a crazy one all around the world. Many things have changed since then. We can't go outside our house,
That was recent, all right?
Hey.
And that wasn't, the Viewport is not liable for anyone who gets coronavirus. That wasn't us.
That wasn't us. We didn't know the release date of Final Fantasy VII Remake back then. Iceborne wasn't out. And on a positive note, Dota Underlords did have 200,000 concurrent players back then, which currently it's sitting at around 15K.
But how many did Artifact have?
We buried that last year. I don't want to bring that back up. But I am happy to report that many things have remained the same, such as we were still talking about the PSV, as we did today, and we were still playing Final Fantasy XIV. So things change, but things remain the same. And with the rest of this segment, we have a game. We'll jump into the trivia. So as usual, please buzz in with Viewport and wait for me to call on you before you answer. let's do a warm-up. Before we
Okay.
get into the specifics, how many Viewport Relay episodes did we release in year 2?
What are the dates on that? Is that March 20...
April 6th.
April 6th to April 6th this year.
Yep.
Viewport,
Albert.
24.
Nope.
Viewport, it would be 21.
Alex was closer. We actually did 22 episodes. We missed 2 episodes due to
that's
the
right.
holidays.
Yeah, I was trying to remember 2 or 3.
We missed 1 because we forgot. We missed 1 because of the Japan trip.
Professional broadcast right here.
And
Oops.
we missed 1 because of PAX, so we missed 5 episodes this year. Not too bad.
Hey, you weren't at PAX.
I wasn't at PAX.
Don't lump yourself into that crew.
Okay, let's get into the meat of things. We'll start as we usually do, as we did with this episode. We'll start with, what have you been playing?
Oh no.
In year 2, this has been an on and off segment where the members of the Viewport team talk about the various games that they've been playing between episodes. For these questions, I only counted the explicit games that we have listed during the segment. So I didn't count the implicit games like Final Fantasy XIV, Azure Lane, those type of things.
Uh-huh.
So each person have had to say it during the episode.
Oh no.
To kick us off, what was Tristan's most played game in year 2?
Viewport.
Alex?
League of Legends.
Yes!
Oh, I was gonna say it, but I wasn't sure.
League of Legends came up 4 times, and in second place we had Final Fantasy.
Only 4?
We actually didn't run What Have You Been Playing that much.
I'm
sorry.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's fine. Final Fantasy XIV and Siege were tied in second place with 2 times each. Next.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex, did you have something?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, you've been hitting the league really hard this year, so kudos to you, climbing that ladder.
Okay, next. What was Alex's most played game?
Viewport?
Albert?
Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, sir. Awesome.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy XIV came up 5 times, with second place being Battlefield 5 and Iceborne with 2 times each. And
Yeah, that sounds about right.
last but not least, our producer. What was Albert's most played game?
Viewport.
Albert?
I'm gonna say Battlefield 5.
Nope.
There might be a bias here.
I almost want to say something crazy like Slay the Spire. I remember him saying that at least once or twice. Or
Tristan's
twice.
only
At least.
said that.
Final
Yeah,
answer, Alex?
I'm going with Slay the Spire.
Slay Spire? Nope. Point goes to no one, I guess.
Was it RimWorld?
No, believe it or
Oh.
not,
Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, man.
I think it's because I only started running that segment towards the latter half of the Viewport year, right?
Mhm.
And I
Yeah,
resubbed
okay.
back up in September or whatever.
Albert brought it up 4 times. And second place was actually a whole broad range of things. Doom Eternal, Iceborne, Smash Brothers, and StarCraft 2 came up 2 times each.
Oh man. Wait, Battlefield 5 wasn't there at all?
I think it was there. It might have been once.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Oh.
And to wrap us off on what have you been playing? One last question. Who played the most diverse set of games?
Viewport.
Albert?
Tristan.
Yep. I played 25 different games this year. Or at least I brought
Mentioned
it up.
on, yeah, mentioned
Yeah.
on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Albert played 17 distinct games that he brought up, and Alex played 10. Some
But how
quotes
many
are...
distinct type of fishes did Alex catch?
Over
700. Over
Nah,
700.
we're at 199 right now. A big fish. Mhm.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
No one will get that reference. but
We'll
that's
come back to that later. I have a
Yep.
whole
Oh,
question
no.
surrounding
Oh,
that.
man. Okay.
I have some relevant quotes around what have you been playing. Albert was once concerned about the variety of things that I was playing, and he even, exposed me. He said, "Are you ever going to play a new video game?" I think this was earlier in the year.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
this
had
was
to have
early
been.
in the year.
Mhm.
And when Alex was hesitant about bringing up what other games he's been playing, Albert also said, I think he brought up Metal Wolf Chaos, and he said, "Oh, that's your side game. Can't let your main game know you got a side hustle going on."
Did you ever play that game?
I played about halfway through. I need to go back and finish it. I believe I still have it installed.
Don't let the fishes know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, are you in the game right now?
No, my windows are not up. I'm not playing that game.
You're not playing it, but I see in Discord.
No, it's just his status.
Check. I don't have the game running.
Status. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
He's a professional. Okay.
I have standards.
With that out of the way, it's time for us to jump into the news, as we usually do. Being a video game news podcast with sprinkles of fun games and wacky opinions mixed in, we tend to talk a lot about the various developers and publishers that make headlines. Out of the big three, which are obviously Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, which do we talk about the most during our podcast in year 2?
Viewport.
God, that was like both of you at the exact same time.
Make a judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
How about
Choose
this?
a number out of 10.
To break the tie, give me the company name and the number of episodes it showed up. Actually, how I tallied it up is the number of news articles that I made part of the episode's description. So that will be the number. Alex, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Mine is Microsoft. And then I'll say we probably covered them 7 episodes.
And Albert?
All right. My answer was Nintendo, and I'm going to say 13 episodes.
The answer was actually Nintendo, so I'll give it to Albert. It was actually pretty close this year. I think last year we had a huge rift, but I'm going to give some appreciation to Albert to distributing the love this year. Nintendo came up for 8 news articles, Sony close behind with 7, and Microsoft with 4.
Oof.
And my favorite quote about Nintendo was actually, I think, last episode or 2 episodes ago, when Albert was describing the Nintendo Direct epic, when he said, r/Nintendo in shambles after a no Direct.
They were. And after the Direct, still in shambles.
Yeah, exactly. That was the actual quote. Thank you. Okay.
Is that the actual quote that I said?
I think that was very close.
Oh, that's how you introduced it.
I made the same joke 3 podcasts.
It made me laugh while recording, and it made me laugh when I was re-listening. So, it's a good joke. Okay, now we're at the fun part. This is when we talk about the various...
the other part wasn't fun?
No, this is when the random topics start showing up.
Cliffy B. Oh, no.
Nah, Cliffy's been out of year 2.
How I've been counting is very similar to last year, is how many episodes did this topic show up out of 22. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with an easy one. We basically defined year 1 as the year of Battle Royale. But has that trend continued with the second year of the podcast?
Oh, no.
Fortnite, PUBG, Blackout, Radical Heights, Forza all sound like names of the past at this point. How many episodes did we use the name of a Battle Royale game or say the words Battle Royale in a relevant sentence in year 2?
You mean just yelling out Battle Royale doesn't count?
That does not count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Viewport?
Alex?
4 episodes. It was really low this year, I feel.
Nope.
Viewport.
Albert?
6 episodes?
Albert was closer. The answer was actually 18.
Really?
If year 1 was the year of the Battle Royale, well, year 2 still was.
Wait, really?
Yes.
How many headlines? Did you count how many headlines were Battle Royale related?
It was headlines anytime we brought it up in a relevant way. It was 18 out of 22.
I feel like we just can't not talk about it. It's
We
become
can't
Battle
escape
Royale
it.
fever.
Man, I could only think of Warzone this year. I guess I can't remember any of the old Battle Royale games. I guess there was Apex as well, huh?
Yeah.
Apex came out, was that Feb 2019?
I think it was this year. It was definitely this year. And I actually brought it
not
up
this
as...
year.
Or this year as in year 2 stuff.
Oh, yeah. We run on the Viewport calendar system where...
Yeah, it was Feb 2019. And I played it a couple episodes, so I definitely brought it up as an actual thing.
That's right.
Fun related quote. I think Albert brought up that none of us actually play Battle Royale games. I mean, aside from Apex Legends. And I mentioned that we only know so much about Battle Royale through osmosis. Which is true.
Just absorption.
Just absorption
of Battle Royale.
All right. Next, another recurring topic these days has been the prevalence of mobile ports, sequels, and spin-offs from juggernauts such as Diablo, Command and Conquer, Mario Kart, and others.
Don't do this to me.
In how many episodes did we crush our souls by joking with mobile ports?
Viewport.
Albert.
How many episodes do we have this year?
22.
22.
Not that much.
I'll go with a solid 16.
16? Alex takes this one. We had 14 episodes where we joked about mobile ports. Most of it was actually about Command and Conquer Rivals.
No.
With Albert being a little bit dissatisfied with it.
Oh, no. I haven't even tried it, guys.
I wanted to bring up a quote around E3, where after the Rivals in 2018, Albert stated, "We're not really hyped for EA," and it sounds like EA's not really hyped for EA, which is an accurate statement.
That's how I
Tell it like it's real.
Here's a new topic that I didn't bring up last year. Speaking of souls getting crushed, it was usually a typical event for Tristan, especially if he stated he was excited about something. Or interested in playing something.
Oh, no.
In how many episodes did Tristan state that he was excited about X?
Viewport.
Albert?
12 episodes.
Not 12.
I'll go with a cautious 6.
Answer goes to Albert. The answer was 15.
Oh, man. You're really excited.
Tristan, were you ever excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake? Because I think I figured out why it's good.
I have the entire list of stuff I said I was excited about. I actually have it here. I'll go through it really quickly. Persona 5 Scramble, Monster Hunter Iceborne, E3.
And then it never happened again.
Fire Emblem Three Houses, Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh no.
The Google Stadia.
Oh no.
Nintendo Switch Lite, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Kerbal Space Program 2, Super Kirby Clash, Disco Elysium, Last of Us Part 2, Half-Life Alyx, Pokemon expansions, and Fuser.
Pokemon oh no. Mm-hmm. Why isn't Animal Crossing? See, every Animal Crossing not on that list. Yeah. Yet, what is the game Tristan is playing?
Animal Crossing.
Have you even brought that up in a what have you been playing? I think you brought it up once. But I think
last
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
I guess it's only been out for like a month. So
yeah.
Maybe that makes sense.
So everyone gets a turn in getting souls crushed, not just Albert and Tristan. It was actually the defining year for Alex's reversal on his opinion on Kojima and Nomura, with quotes such as, the more hazy I'm feeling about Kojima, Nomura has been progressing. 2019 is a weird year.
And here we are, 2020.
When we asked if Death Stranding will be Kojima's last game, Alex actually answered with, "I hope so."
Oh no!
Yeah.
But that's kind of besides the point. I think we now really we recognize Alex's love for Final Fantasy VII Remake at this point. How many episodes did we talk about that game in year 2?
Viewport.
Oh, Albert.
I'm going to say 5 episodes.
Not 5.
I'm going with 8 esports.
And that goes to Alex. We actually talked about it 10 episodes this year.
Wow.
Man. How many times did Alex bring it up? Is he fudging the numbers?
Uh-huh.
It was episode. It was unique per episode, right? What's funny is because we were so pessimistic, Alex and I, earlier in the year. Albert, you asked us what year is this coming? Is this game going to come out for this console generation? And Alex quickly said, "You're very optimistic." And I said, "You're assuming that this game is ever coming out."
You guys.
Couple episodes later, you asked again, "Do you think this game is coming out within the next year?" This was back in 2019. I said no. Alex said absolutely not, which, kind of correct.
Yeah, we got it.
And there were some really dark jokes. I think at some point, I think this was when they announced it was episodic. I said 4 years in, I'm out. Like, I'm just done with this game. And I also said, wake me up when it comes out. I guess I'll never wake up. So,
I want to settle a bet right here.
Mm-hmm.
How many discs is the last game going to have?
3? Let's say 3.
Okay. I was going to go 3. Assuming Blu-ray technology stays where it is. Wait, but if it's 4K, oh no. This could be like a 5-disc game.
It's going to be 8K, isn't it? We're going to be at that point.
No, I don't think the PS5 can handle 8K though.
Isn't that what they're touting as part of the specs? Is 8K gaming?
I mean, maybe 8K 30, but I assume they'd run it at 4. People don't even have 8K TVs yet, right? So
yeah, I guess that's true.
All right. Sorry to sidetrack us.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. I did have one more bonus quote where Alex said, I'm so excited about Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just pressing all the buttons that I didn't know existed. Oh.
Like the square button. That's my favorite button.
Yeah.
Almost a little.
I know. It did get me a little too excited at times just seeing those trailers.
All right. That's enough about Nomura, our favorite man. Speaking of game developers, we have this group of people, what I like to call devs who don't get the best behavior from us. That was actually called something different when I was writing up the script yesterday, but I had to bleep out the whole thing. Year 1, we had Todd Howard and Cliffy B. In year
the pin cushions of Viewport Gaming.
Yeah.
The punching bags.
In year 2, we had Kojima join the mix. Out of the 3 infamous developers, who did we mention the most in year 2?
Viewport.
Albert.
It's gotta be Kojima. It's gotta be.
I think we actually mentioned Todd probably more, just as a meme.
Oh.
I'm actually going to split this point because it was actually a tie between Todd Howard and Kojima.
Yeah,
we both said one.
We mentioned them in 7 episodes each. Cliffy B was actually still pretty close with 5. I thought he was dead.
Mr. Beating a dead horse over there.
Yeah, we always like to bring him back up from time to time.
If we had to title The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, what would the 3 which developer would be each one? That's a game for next time.
I think Todd Howard would be the good, to be honest.
Yeah, he looks kind of nice.
He committed the least amount of sins.
Are you sure he's not the ugly? Like, what he puts out, sometimes it's kind of ugly.
You know what? Yeah, it just works. I don't know.
All right. I'll make that into a game. You'll see that later.
We had a couple of really good quotes from Alex about Todd Howard in general in year 2. We had, what if I told you that for a measly price of $100, you can continue to play Fallout 76? This is in response to their new subscription system. Alex on why Bethesda should love us, he said, hey, they should love us. We actually finished the game. We being me.
Yep. Our resident masochist Tristan actually played through that game.
You know what I should get you, Tristan? Like, don't you know, like, those things you can, like, print out with, like, people's quotes on them? I should get one of, I have a really good feeling about Fallout 76 - Tristan Jung and send that to you. And you have to put it on your wall.
October 2019 or 2018.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of those motivational posters you just have hanging up.
Okay, let's actually take a pause and check in on the score since we're about halfway through. We have Alex at 5 points, Albert at 6, so it's pretty close.
Oh,
all right, neck and neck.
Speaking of things that we really love to do instead of hating, something all of us, to a surprise, loved in year 2 was Final Fantasy XIV, with Albert joining in on the fun. How many episodes did we mention Final Fantasy XIV?
Viewport.
Alex?
22 episodes.
Not 22.
Viewport.
Albert?
23 episodes.
Out of 22?
Oh, there's only 22. Never mind, I take that back. I thought there was 24 episodes. And, I guessed 24 earlier.
There's a really easy way to win this. Okay.
21. 21.
Albert gets a point. We only mentioned it only in quotes 17 times.
It should have been 14.
With my favorite quote being, "Tristan is my senpai in Final Fantasy XIV fishing," from Alex. Before
you know what they say, where the student has become the master.
The master.
Exactly.
The grandmaster almost.
Yeah, senpai becomes kohai pretty fast if you don't keep up.
Oh man. Outside of Final Fantasy XIV, other games weren't always lucky on the podcast, with Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Kingdom Hearts receiving the short end of the stick throughout the year. Which game received the most amount of love?
Between those two? Mm-hmm. Or just between any of them?
So just like brought up in an episode. How many episodes did it get brought up?
Viewport.
Albert?
It's gotta be Kingdom Hearts 3, man.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be Kingdom Hearts 3 also.
Okay. Goes to Albert. Kingdom Hearts 3 was brought up 9 times, mostly as a joke.
It came out in January before the Viewport year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shin Megami Tensei, I was surprised to have heard it 6 episodes. Mostly
for
to make fun of me.
That we haven't heard about in 4 years to come up 6 times. Pretty good.
I think I did the pause and score a little late because this next one's actually the last question. The rest of it is a bunch of funny stuff that I found.
Wait, can I ask a question, Tristan?
Sure.
Are we going to get a new gameplay reveal for SMT within the next year?
Oh my god. Within
this Viewport year?
Yes.
5 Viewport bucks on this, by the way.
Yes.
Yes?
Yep,
Ooh.
I think we'll see it.
Okay. I'm with Tristan on this one. They've released about 5 or 6 spin-offs of Persona 5 at this point, so I think this is the time where Atlas is going to get back to SMT.
You got a SMTV for PSV.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm down.
Or more so for Nintendo Switch.
Oh. For Nintendo Switch V. Oh my god.
All right. Last question. I guess this is just for fun since Albert's leading 8 to
Moral
5.
Victory right here.
At the end of the news segment, we have some time left usually, so we do some games that our awesome producer Albert Corsten usually makes up. I want to kick us off with some amazing names that we've had in year 2. The name of the games. We've had Money Madness, Gran Turismo, Return of Need for Speed Toast Unwanted. No, sorry, Need for Speedo Toast Unwanted.
No, thank you. Excuse me. It's copywritten.
Corporate Collective, Ferocious Factions, Oldies But Goodies, Running in the 90s, Notably Negative, which is a highlight in year 2.
Low light is the word you're looking for.
Relay Race, and Long But Not Forgotten. Now to the question. Who was the overall champion between Alex and Tristan of year 2?
Viewport?
Alex?
I believe you eked it out.
I think he more than eked it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually...
It felt like a landslide.
Absolutely incorrect. Alex won 7 games this year.
Oh, no.
With
Not even I felt like a winner.
With Tristan only winning 3.
Oh.
And that was near the end.
What a loser.
Yeah, I guess maybe in the early year, I actually was winning a lot of them. Maybe.
Alex won 5 games in a row earlier in the year, and then I started crawling back.
I think what sums it up for your year of gaming, Tristan, is when I asked for games that come out this year, you said Paper Mario.
That was in year 4.
Yeah, that was in year door. A 2020 classic.
Yeah. Once we hit Notably Negatives or whatever it was called, that's where the haze just rolled in. I couldn't take a game the same ever again.
Turning tide.
But I also want to highlight some of the one-off segments that Albert created that had some good names. Melancholy Memories, Fast Favorites. This one's my personal favorite of Gamescom, Samescom, or Lamescom. Nintendo or Nintendon't. The Goldies, and State of the Genre. I also had some quotes. We had Albert rewarding Alex with Alex, you win the Golden Speedo for winning the games this year. So please make sure to watch.
All right.
No, the Golden Speedo.
Oh, I heard Skolden. I was like, what?
And our favorite answer from Oldies But Goodies, with Tristan saying, Ghosts and Ghouls, I don't know, Graveyard? Super Ghosts and Ghouls, Graveyard? Ghouls and Ghosts?
Incorrect. That is incorrect.
Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Alex, you want to resume?
I love that last one.
I love you yelled it, I remember. You were like, grabbed by the ghoulies. Is that a Fallout spin-off game coming out, by the way? Did you just leak that?
Grabbed by the Ghoulies?
Grabbed by the
expansion.
Ghoulies?
Yeah, there's going to be an
Fallout
expansion.
76 expansion.
And with that, we're at the end of the trivia. A huge congrats to Albert for winning this year's wrap-up 2 years in a row.
Oh.
2-time champ.
Albert always shows up for these things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the game master.
I want to end with 3 things. First, our quotable quotes section. Year 2 was when we realized we're actually really good at guessing what's going to come up.
Oh, no.
I guess that, are they building a VR headset for Half-Life? Which turned out to be kind of true. Albert with the triple hit.
Ooh.
Albert said the PS5 is going to come out in holiday 2020. That was back in May of 2019. He also said, I think they'll move to USB-C for the controller.
Wow. Oh, that's an easy prediction.
And I'm still waiting on this one. He said, I think this console is going to cost $450.
Oh, no. After I saw those specs.
We'll see.
Hush, hush. Mm-hmm.
Alex and I said 500. And then Albert actually had another crazy one. This wasn't like 100% on point, but before E3, he said, who do you think Ubisoft's going to bring on stage this year? Keanu Reeves? I'm serious.
Oh my god.
And lo and behold, Keanu Reeves.
You were close.
It's the wrong conference.
Yeah.
He showed up to the wrong stage, but they still let him on.
He's like, wait, this isn't the Ubisoft stage.
Wait, what's that sign say? Cyberpunk!
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're breathtaking.
And as much as I was excited about video games, I actually did once state that I'm worried about Pokemon. In quotes. So
Not unwarranted.
Not unwarranted.
But you're also hyped for the expansions at the same time.
We'll see what happens. We also
The duality of Tristan.
we also showed our disdain for award shows and press conferences, with Albert saying, I think Microsoft's E3 press conference will be a strategic flop.
This year or last year?
This was last year.
You know, I'm gonna say right now, I thoroughly apologize to Microsoft last year because they were the first ones to go and it seemed kind of lame, but the end of E3 last year, they had the best press conference, I think.
Alex calling Reggie out, he said, I got the biggest bet. I think Reggie will slip on our typical big boy slipping. Yeah.
He slipped so hard he fell out of the building into retirement.
Into GameStop chair.
Into GameStop board of executives.
And the whole Game of the Year controversy that we had going on, with Albert saying, if Death Stranding wins, I will be live streaming Tristan's suicide on Twitch.
It did not win.
Yeah,
Tristan is here with us today.
Luckily. And I had some weird things that I couldn't even categorize. There were some like really dark quotes from me about random video games. I said I wanted Luigi's Mansion 3 to be the end of like a movie trilogy. I want him out for revenge. I also said I want Zelda to die in Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know. Alex brought up for Street Fighter X Tekken 7. The ultimate question will be answered leg day or arms when we have Jack 7 fighting off with Chun-Li.
Mm-hmm.
Has that game come out yet?
No.
Not yet.
It's dead.
Alex,
it's dead.
We haven't heard from it. It's more dead than SMTV, to be honest.
And do not message Hirano about it.
He will block you.
Alex with his PSA of, we at Viewport Gaming do not condone any type of vaping, juuling, or other types of e-cig for children. Thank you, Alex.
Yep, we keep you safe out there.
And Albert with my favorite quote. You should have seen Gabe Newell at his prime. He was enormous.
I'm sorry, Gabe. Don't ban me from Steam.
That's it for quotable quotes. I always like to end off with some of the crazy ideas were brought up and in memorandum section. So for crazy ideas, we had the Nintendo Witch, or the Nintendo Sandwich, where we can fold it in half and eat it too. A full band of weapons in Monster Hunter, trombone and tuba included.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, random thing. There's a skin in Doom Eternal for the skeleton called the Doot Doot skin, where his jetpacks are trumpets.
The Doot Revenant.
Mm-hmm. We had Lionhead Studios and Rare make Fable with the 4 as the A, where you build cars. Thank you, Alex, for that.
Man, forgot all about that. Yep.
The sequel to ARMS called Two Arms.
Hey, that might happen. It might happen.
See it in Smash.
We had another Nintendo Switch follow-up called the Switch 2, aka the Twitch.
Oh no.
And even though CD Projekt Red's game got delayed, we have Cyberpunk 2078, Cyberpunk 2079, and the prequel, Cyberpunk 76.
Oh no.
I hope you're excited for that one.
Yeah. Let me blaze through the rest. We had Call of Duty Civil War, 500 people versus 500, a titled Goose Game, going to the library to play Google Stadia to not use up your bandwidth cap, the Hideo Kojima Experience, a 50-hour movie. Fire Emblem Suburban Neighborhoods, when the houses get too much. And PS5's circle controller that fits in the donut-shaped PS5.
It's too late, guys. The dream is dead.
There is no docking for the PS Vita that we know of.
No.
I'm looking forward to all the crazy ideas in year 3, because honestly, this was me after cutting out about 75% of them, because we were going off the rails last year.
We'll have to have a Viewport Greatest Ideas segment.
Yeah, soon. I can just put it in like a, I don't know, call it a feature article.
It'll be in the bonus DVD with the extra features on, Viewport's 2nd year anniversary boxed edition.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a moment of silence for all that have passed in year 2. PUBG, Sony's presence at E3, Tristan's PS4 usage, Lawbreakers Round 2, JDCR's Tekken 7 career, Anthem, Blizzard Esports, Artifact, again, somehow, the Vita 2, Google Glass, Call of Duty Blackout, Google Stadia, Alex's respect for Hideo Kojima, and of course, is every game a rhythm game?
That's still in progress.
I don't know at this point.
We can't. Every game is a rhythm. Let me be the first to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Every game I've played so far this year has almost felt like a rhythm game.
Oh man, don't do this to me.
You know what they call it?
We're getting there.
They call it the gameplay. What is it called? The cycle? What is that? What they call it?
The gameplay loop?
Yeah. It's like a rhythm game. You gotta, stay in rhythm. Like when you're in Doom Eternal, you gotta stay in rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
I'll finish it one day.
Every fight's a dance.
But yeah, that wraps it up for year 2.
Pat yourselves on the back.
We did it. I think year 3 is gonna be a little bit crazier, hopefully.
It's already crazy. 2020.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, we're just getting started in this decade.
So we'll see what happens. But I'll hand it back to Albert. Thank you for letting me drive this segment.
Thank you, driver. Make sure to tip your Uber drivers, everyone.
5 stars.
5 stars. And with that, we're going to be closing out episode 47 of Viewport Relay. Viewport Relay is available on Radio Public, iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, Podbean, and all your favorite podcast directories. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, review, and share it with your friends. We're also on social media as Viewport Gaming on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But Alex, why Viewport Gaming?
Well, Viewport Relay is a part of Viewport Gaming, a gaming site that provides a look into video games through reviews, features, and podcasts. You can find all the Viewport content at viewportgaming.com.
Oh, thank you, Alex. And as always, I've been your host, Albert Corson, joined by Tristan John.
Goodbye.
And Alex Nesser.
See you next time.
Have a happy 3rd year!